Good afternoon from the Philippines, and welcome to Tala Talks, where I share my everyday thoughts and everyday experiences. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you what long-term relationships have taught me, even if they never led to marriage. And I've got tons to say. Thank you so much in advance for choosing to spend your next few minutes with your girl. I'm so pleased to have you here, and I hope you don't mind that we are doing this in my bedroom for a change. If you've been around in this channel, you know that I love taking you to the ocean, to the beach, somewhere where there's nature, because we are in the Philippines after all, and this is paradise. But for today's topic, I thought it was a little bit more special to go somewhere intimate and quiet. And I have my little doggo here just because he's had an injury lately, so I think it's a good time to just spend it indoors together and with my little boy. A little history about your girl. I was born and raised in the Philippines. I will probably have my ending days here just because I feel very lucky to be a Pinoy, a Filipino citizen. We've got more than 7,700 islands. And also, luckily for those people who plan to retire here, I would say 99% of Filipinos understand English. And yeah, the language barrier is very easy around to get if you know English. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was having emotional wisdom. And for me, again, a little context here. I have reached my biological clock, so it's done ticking. I don't have kids. Obviously, I don't have husband with the name of this video. I've always had long-term relationships and none of them ever led to marriage. I've had a 10-year relationship, I've had 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and I've been called one time a serial monogamer. And it was the first time I heard of it, and I'm not sure how I feel about it either. But I don't know, I also am not the type to hop from one person to another. I kind of enjoy just sticking around and just enjoying the companionship of one person. But again, none of these relationships ever led to marriage, and here we are. Um, I would like to say that I guess it's taught me that there's a lot of things that I need to grow, that I need to grow or need to grow as I go. I need to also not want to control the situation. I guess many times I always expected, ooh, we're gonna end up together, we're gonna end up tying the knot, and then maybe that scares a lot of guys away. That if it looks like I'm planning before they are doing the planning, or if I'm giving unsolicited advice, it might scare some guys away. I really don't know, but I also think that it's very important that you are able to be yourself in a relationship. But in my case, I don't know if it's God or the universe or whatever higher being you believe in, but if you ask me, of course I would have preferred to have a husband. Of course I would have preferred to have kids. Like, I always thought about living in a tree house or having an island home, and I got very influenced by certain movies growing up. It just so happened that it didn't happen. And I would like to think I'm more of a domesticated person. However, I love adventure as well. So I do believe the balance is there, but I also know that I probably have outgrown a lot of the previous relationships I was in. And I should probably dive a little deeper. I won't make it too long. But one relationship I was in, it was so amazing at first because we were very ambitious in terms of like businesses and, financial gains. And then eventually I felt very disconnected from that work, from living in the city, from doing the hustle and grind every day, all day long. And so I decided to get into motorbikes, like big bikes, and I also started to get into scuba diving. And because when you feel disconnected from something, and that's kind of like your intuition or a nudge saying, okay, we need to address something here. And in my case, because I had spent so much time in the city, I really felt like I needed to reconnect with nature. And when I did that, slowly by slowly, I outgrew that relationship, and then I just became an island girl to today. And then also, I guess if you're talking about high school where you're still growing and developing, you don't really know what kind of person you'll be when you grow up. Well, that relationship lasted for over 3 years. And yeah, it's just a lot of outgrowing, I would say. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's so amazing if you end up growing together as a couple. My parents have been married since the day they got married, and they're like best friends, which is amazing. So, definitely, I do believe that there are relationships that last forever, and my best friends' parents as well are in the same situation. They're still married since the day they got married, and they're very happy. Let's talk about social defiance, and especially in the Philippines context or being a Pinoy, it's been very expected of me at my age to be married by now, to have kids. And I would say, and this is like my personal experience, that all my friends from high school and in college, not all obviously, but a huge majority of them are married, and they have followed the typical cultural or societal narrative, which is to finish school, graduate, get a job, find a husband or get married, have kids, buy a car, buy a house, and then retire. They're pretty much all of them have kids, all of them have husbands, and flash news. And I don't think it's very surprising. Yeah, a lot of them aren't my friends anymore, only because I just can't relate with the topics. They talk about pediatricians, they talk about baking, and I love to cook in the kitchen ish, but I have like-minded friends now who are in the same path. A lot of them aren't married, and we're all just enjoying our lives. And I don't want to be considered that woman who is just waiting for Prince Charming to propose to me. And I don't want a person or a title to make me whole. I really, for those people who fall into that narrative, of course, I have the utmost respect and regards for them. It just so happened that it never worked out for me, and there shouldn't be like a one-way path to experiencing milestones. My personal milestones right now, I do a lot of introspection. I've recently learned how to journal. I would like to think I am getting better at my yoga practice, and I'm also getting better at choosing my friends. And it's just been such an amazing experience so far. If you'd like to know more, I actually go in depth at my Buy Me a Coffee page, and it's called Buy Me a Coffee for a reason. If you want to treat your girl out for a drink, by all means. It's a beautiful morning here actually in the Philippines, and it's easy enough to scan the QR codes that I've been flashing on the screen. But nevertheless, the membership is also there, where I get to connect with my members. To those who have joined, thank you so much. I love you from the bottom of my heart. It's because of you that I am able to continue this channel, and I very much enjoy reaching out as well. I've been asked by my members, is it really safe to live in the Philippines? Where's the best place you recommend? There's a lot of depth that we go into in the membership, and it very much feels like a mutual benefit for both parties. But if you'd like to know more, or if you're curious, go check it out. All the links are clickable on the description box. Let's talk about spiritual maturity. And this is something that, I kind of had to learn over time. It wasn't like, obviously, eventually, especially when I started reaching my late 30s, I was wondering, like, okay, the husband is still not there, the kids is not there, like, what's going on? There must be something off or wrong with me. But when you really learn to love yourself, when you really are at peace and you start to appreciate what you have, like, this cute furry dog behind you, or the roof over your head, fresh air, food in front of you, loved ones around you, a nice shower, it's when you look at all the little things, they start to add up, and you realize there's so much to be grateful for. you realize, wow, thank you for health. Thank you that I can move my body. There's just a lot of things that tend to get overlooked at because some people want to see the bigger picture or the milestones, but it really isn't. It really is those small wins that you experience on your own rather than having that in the exterior. And yeah, on that note, I dive so much deeper in my membership. Yeah, feel free to check it out. But otherwise, if you made it this far in the video, I would love to hear like your thoughts or what you think so far about everything I've said. There's a comment box below. If you've made it this far, I love you. I send you infinite love from the Philippines. If you're watching this in the afternoon, in the evening, or in the morning, I'd also love to know where you're from. But on that note, I shall see you soon. I hope to see you in my next video. Ciao for now.